Well, good evening, America, and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television show. And it's 8 p.m. Wednesday, June 24th, 2020. I'm your host and moderator, Al Ferguson, and welcome, America, because we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, an entertaining show. So let's begin right at the top, and we'll introduce you to one of our guest hosts tonight in doing it, beginning with Happening Now. This is our breaking news. We report in Happening Now an exciting new announcement. An amazing new digital television show is coming for the LGBT community called Gay Town Hall, advertising you participate in the LGBTQ debate. This show is going to focus on the big topics of the day that are of interest to the LGBTQ community. More than a dozen hosts, including celebrities, famous influencers, drag queens, writers, authors, a college professor who identifies as a communist, a famous White House visiting gay Trumpster, artist, all segments representing the L, the G, the B, the T, and the Q of our community. A famous porn star, a famous underwear model, a Miccosukee Native American, and more. The show is going to premiere at 8 p.m. on Thursday, July 2nd. And it's alive. Best of all, America, world, you get to participate. The chat is moderated, and interesting thread posts are moved right into the screen for hosts and guests to discuss. And best of all, America, you are allowed to log in and be on camera with the host and participate in the debate and discussion. Nothing like this has ever existed in the LGBT community, and it's very exciting. And leading up to July 2nd, all of the hosts will be introduced to you tonight. And, of course, we are introducing you tonight to our seventh host that is going to be hosting Gay Town Hall. And that is joining us tonight, a famous underwear model, activist, sexual health advocate, of course, the internet influencer, Colby Melvin. And coming from Lafayette, Louisiana, he's a true Cajun. Welcome, Colby. Good evening this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited. We've had the opportunity to talk a number of times. I'm so excited that you're coming to Gay Town Hall. Are you sure? Because you're going to be your voice with all of these other voices of distinct backgrounds in the LGBT community. You're ready for that?
You know, the great thing about the LGBT community is our sense of chosen family. So we may fight like brothers and sisters, but at the end of the day, I think we all love each other. So I'm very excited to see differing opinions and talk about things that really affect us all.
Yeah, that's a great sentiment. The big things that you hope to see coming from Gay Town Hall is what? What would you like to see come out of this?
I think one of the biggest issues after marriage equality was that our community kind of segmented and we kind of dispersed, and we don't have the sense of connection that we used to. And I'm hoping that Gay Town Hall can sort of reconnect members of our community to continue to talk about issues that are affecting everyone. I mean, now workplace discrimination is being addressed, but what about bullying or LGBT homeless youth? So I think that there's a lot more that we as a community need to talk about.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, here's the big issue for me, Colby. I've read a lot. You have like bazillion followers in different social media platforms. You're very well known in social media, famous underwear model. I'd like to become one. How do I go about applying for that job?
Take your time.
Okay.
Did you hear me, Colby? You froze at a very inappropriate time.
Stripping down and getting on Instagram and putting it all out there.
How do you think I would do? Would I do well?
Don't flirt back.
Everyone here at the studio in Fort Lauderdale is joking and poking at me that I'm flirting with you, and why the hell wouldn't I? So, Colby, we can't wait to watch Gay Town Hall. It's going to be so exciting. We have already announced in connection with this show Amber Taylor, mother of two, very feminine lesbian. Jack Thompson, the current reigning international Mr. Leather, is a host along with Colby, and he is the first trans person of color to win IML. Matthew Sackman, Jay Phoenix, a well-known drag queen that is a cannabis activist, very fun. Dwight Allen O'Neill, author of the book Shoulda, Coulda, Woulda, and #1 on Amazon this week, and he is coming. And Randy Boo, a singer in Southern California and Los Angeles. That's who's been announced so far. And tonight, Colby Melvin. So welcome to this exciting new concept. I can't wait to watch y'all in this show, and more surprise announcements over the next week of who's going to be participating. So we want to say good evening again, America. You are watching the most popular live gay TV show in the world. So many of your stories we're going to tell next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out.
One of the most beautiful, magical, spiritual parts of nature, and making that a symbol for our sexuality, for our humanity.
The Trump administration released a rule on Friday that would roll back Obama-era protections for transgender patients.
Our new game, Saved by the Bell.
These two guys have come into these areas.
It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Misty Eyez. With your host, reality TV star, Chef Josie. Trans activist, Aaron Phoenix. DJ Diva Power Infiniti. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, again, good evening. This is a live show. We're live, so remember, anything can happen anytime throughout the show. This is the world's most popular live gay TV show. And you understand why, because you see these faces around me. That's what has caused this. And we want you to help continue to propel It's Happening Out in its popularity. And you do that if you want to see this show continue, of course, by like and sharing us. And we encourage you to do that because this conversation tonight, you're going to see why your friends want to hear it. I just can't wait to hear what the people around me in this picture you're watching are going to say. And the best way to do that is to start a watch party. We prepared a little piece to show you how to do it. Watch this.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click start watch party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Okay, let's get started. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's begin, as we always start our show, with the meme of the week. And tonight we're going to show you a picture and talk over the meme. This is not a sound. This week's meme is called Best Friends at Pride. Now, I haven't seen this. Oh my goodness, now I know why I haven't seen this.
Yeah, that's perfect. Looks about accurate.
Best friends are celebrating Pride in New York, and I didn't know that Donald had such moves. I did know that
Putin Morgan.
Vlad. I knew who that was.
That skin looks so good in that video.
Yeah. Power, you loving this meme tonight?
I don't see it.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, that's how we start our show. We start with a meme. Next, I want to play one of my favorite games. I love it in It's Happening Out. Dealing with these hosts can be an exhausting task. Y'all should have sympathy for me. So we take a little break with a fun drinking game called I'd Swallow That. I have 4 shots in front of me, as all our hosts do. I have it on good authority tonight, which I normally don't do. This is, oh yeah, it's whiskey, and I'll be thanking somebody after the show for doing that. And what's going to happen in America is I'm going to ask a question, and if the hosts agree, they're going to take a shot. And if they don't touch their shot. And we encourage you at home to play along with us as we ask this question. And we learn a lot of fun things about each other. And of course, it gives us an excuse to drink. Now, I should say in full disclosure that Colby with us, the new one of the new hosts for Gay Town Hall, is in sobriety. And so your shot tonight is, I understand, of course, what underwear models shoot, which is a protein drink. Do I have that correct?
God.
She done froze.
I told you, America.
My favorite drink is protein or one form or another. So.
Lies.
Lies. Are you flirting back now, Colby? Are you flirting back with me?
Chop.
All right. So Colby's going to be doing a protein drink shot. Colby, tell us how long have you been in sobriety?
9 months. I just passed 9 months.
9
Oh,
months.
Good job.
Congratulations
Congrats.
to you. That's a great achievement. All right. So we're ready.
Thank you very much.
Let's start with the first question. And the first question is, I'd swallow that. I'm totes.
We still have our masks on.
Yeah. I think I have to take my mask off for this game.
Face mask, that is. Yes, that will help. All right. Mask for mask. Oh, God.
I'm clearly not mask for mask. Any other
my
definition?
Goodness. My goodness. Power, what are you drinking?
Chablis.
Chablis.
Cranberry.
Caught! You're caught.
It's really just cranberry juice with a shot of Sprite.
Oh, okay. All right.
With the shot.
Somebody tell me, what's the big deal about masks? Why do you think masks are important?
Listen, guys, if the science supports the fact that 95% of transmission is blocked by the use of masks. It's very simple. Using a mask helps save lives. It helps control the spread of the virus, which then in turn would put more stress on our healthcare industry in the event that this virus spreads like wildfire. Masks are important. That's it. Simple.
Yeah. The other mask for mask is toxic for our community, and shaming people for not being masculine is bad. But mask for mask face wear is good.
You know, I'm curious, Colby, in Louisiana, is mask prevalent? Are you seeing a lot of it?
Not at all, but in a very low populated area. So there's not as much of it. Actually, I don't run into very many people. But when I've traveled, it's been pretty much predominantly everywhere.
Yeah. So when you're traveling to events, you're modeling your underwear, you know, your lifestyle with the rich and famous, you're seeing a lot of masks?
Absolutely. People are also getting really creative with what they're using to themselves. I saw this woman that used a clear sheet and just put a rubber band around her head. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds like
That's effective.
And Power, I'm curious, because you haven't been out of your house in 3.5 months, you probably don't have to wear a mask, right?
Well, I do. I have to go out to grocery shop and stuff, and I have a very fashionable visor over my face, as well as a mask. So, child, I
You wear a full PPE mask?
I have one too.
A face shield?
I have a face shield as well as a mask.
Wow, that's cool. I understand. I just read in your social media you're getting ready to do a Hamburger Mary's event in Tampa Bay.
Okay, well, announcement right here on the show. That has been postponed.
Okay.
That
All
has
right.
been postponed. Ain't no awe. That's a good thing because we are being very, very responsible, especially with the spike in numbers that we're seeing here in Florida.
That is true.
And
That's true.
Pinellas County just issued a mask mandate for the entire county, so we have postponed the TDAX.
Yeah. I understand. I don't know in Pinellas. I understand in terms of mask, there are some counties that are going to mandatory mask both outside and inside of a business. Now, you have no choice at all. If you're out, if you leave your house, you must be having a mask on.
Is that including walking around or just out of business?
Walking around outside. If you're on a street, you have to have a mask on.
Oh, wow.
Or you're fined.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to I'd Swallow That because that first
We're supposed to be having fun here, guys. Okay.
Right. Wah, wah. All right. Question number 2. I'd swallow that. Question number 2. I'd swallow that. I have. It's kind of in the same vein as our shots. I have thirst added people on social media.
Duh.
What else is social media for if not for that?
Exactly, Aaron. I'm married, not dead.
Wait. First off, Colby, you swallowed so much of that protein that I was impressed how much you swallowed there.
Al, there are other hosts on the show.
I know. You guys have each other's number, right? You know what I mean? Really?
Colby, all the other hosts are jealous of the chemistry you and I exhibited when we came on the air. To hell with all of them.
That's a one-sided chemistry.
My evil.
She's gonna smile at
you. All right. So somebody tell me, you use your social media to satisfy thirst?
Well, first off, I had to have David Hopkins, one of our production people, define for me what that even meant.
What does thirsty mean?
No, I know what thirsty is, but I didn't know what thirst added meant. And I was like, okay, you see, I'm getting older.
Something's going on between Colby and I. He is so infatuated with me it's
no, but I don't think, I mean, is there anyone in the world who hasn't added someone while they were scrolling Instagram because they had some sexy, cool photos with this like extremely exotic background?
Aaron, you do that?
Josie, that sounded awfully specific, is all I'm
Right. Speaking of adding pictures like that, on Q tonight, we did in the Big Finish, Britney Spears call out to LGBT America for Pride, and we showed a picture of her husband.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Her
God.
boyfriend.
I would thirst at him in a second.
It was like...
He could get a...
Any hole, anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I said in the Big Finish, you remember hair shaven, baby riding in lap in car, crazy Britney, LGBT America, don't worry too much for her because she's doing just fine. Just fine.
Even if she burnt down her home gym.
Power had her hand up.
Yeah. and Power, you thirst ad, you're in the most rural. I was going to pick my words a little looser. You're in the most rural but long-term relationship. You still thirst ad?
Well, I think when it comes to thirst adding, I am very aware of the fact that, and I think we all do this. I don't go and look for people to add. I will allow people. I will accept friend requests. I'm not really good at going and looking. I don't like to initiate that. But I think that everybody kind of shows a little bit of preferential treatment to somebody that looks good, and I'm aware of that. And I try to stifle that and say I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. But your eye catches somebody that's attractive, and you give them a little bit more, opportunity to get on your friends list and say, a water buffalo or something like that.
Can I, please, America, allow me to call
water
Mr.
buffalo?
Power Infiniti out? I have noticed over the last month, I have seen a lot of your pictures that you have posted that have you shirtless and in sexy roles.
Yeah.
And I have seen some mid-season and so you
gotta
don't do
flaunt
that
it.
at all.
If
You
you
don't
gotta flaunt
participate
it.
in that. You let other people.
And she adds them after they add her.
That's right. I don't have a problem with being the one that is the
Attracts.
inspiration for masturbation.
She sucks them in, honey.
All right, I just wanted to
All
make
right,
sure.
well, there you go. Have it. There you have it.
The news person in
You heard
me
it
wants.
here first.
Exactly.
We were all
Exactly right.
schooled on thirst
Exactly
addicts for
right.
future reference.
All right.
That's the Barbara Walters in
Yeah, that's right. And I have to come back. Josie, do you finally understand what thirst
I
addict
got
means
it. Crystal
now?
clear.
Okay, all right, there we go.
Can I say something?
America, we educate. That's why we're here. We're educators.
It's a
All right.
human thing to do. But as a married woman, I went to my husband gave me his phone or whatever, and I was looking for something. And his Instagram and his Facebook storylines are all these big titty stripper bitches that are like Comic-Con girls. And I got so mad. I was so mad. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, open your story feed. Open your Instagram. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're both guilty.
Never mind.
It's
Thank
human.
you. Right. All right. Let's move on to question number 3 of I'd Swallow That. I'd swallow that. Question number 3. Wait, the whiskey's kicking in. Social isolation has opened up a whole new world of porn for me. Wait. I'm not going to be the only person. Colby Melvin, don't you dare tell me you didn't take that protein shot.
Okay, I froze. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, good. Thank the Lord. Social isolation has opened up whole new worlds of porn to me. You're in Lafayette.
Pornography.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Thank God. Let me tell you something. I was in a Zoom meeting just today.
A Zoom meeting?
Zoom.
Also a Zoom meeting.
New world, new world.
Just today, and we were talking about a porn star.
Oh, Lord.
And a porn star for an activity event, a story for Q, and it's happening out. And we talked about how popular the porn star was and how many views that they had in their social media and how many times they had been watched. And I directed the people in the Zoom meeting directly to Pornhub and exactly instantaneously to their ranking system to show how many times they had been viewed in Pornhub and their ranking of the top 500 porn stars in the world. That's how good I was. And then I realized at that moment, uh-oh, I might have a problem.
You're all too familiar. Anybody else drink? Did anybody else drink?
Did anybody drink? I saw Colby.
He did?
Oh, yeah. I saw him drink a lot of
What did he discover?
protein. Again, a lot of chugging of protein. What did you discover, Colby, in isolation, in social isolation? In porn?
Oh, Lord. So I was in a gay Facebook group and somebody posted, hey, I've seen like all the good stuff on Pornhub. Do you have any other suggestions? And somebody posted a list of hundreds and hundreds of different tickets. So I just kind of made my way through the list and discovered a whole new world.
The international rainbow of porn?
Of people that you were interested in, or...
No, from the list.
From
a
the
list.
I know, I'm trying to Barbara Walters.
Different collections of videos.
I see. Okay. All right. All right.
Nobody else. We're all
Anybody
good.
else? Aaron, you're not trolling the internet for porn?
No.
Power? Just no.
Aaron's like,
Flat-
no.
All I do is go to Bible study. So.
Lies!
Yeah. Uh-huh. I have some videos that have been shared with me Don't make me share them.
Oh, Lord.
I wish I did, but I don't. Right? He instantly calls me a liar, and that's true. I was lying. Aaron, you said no instantaneously. I heard you just loud and clear say, why am I on It's Happening Out? Is that what you just said to me? This is not... Yeah, all right.
It wouldn't be the first time. I've edited porn as a job before, so it kind of like took away a little bit of the magic for me.
The magic.
Same.
I'd rather create my own porn than watch somebody else.
I worked for a porn company for 8 years.
Has anybody had the experience in social isolation, if you do watch any porn, that you've gone to other places in the world, like the Romanians have become, the Czechs have become really interesting to me, because it's a lot different than what we see from, X or Y or Z.
Because they're flirting with you because they want a green card. Yeah. They flirt back. They flirt back when they're...
I've just been so busy. I don't really have time for much porn or anything else for that matter. And trust, there's some, I know about those sites. Come on.
In the first minutes of It's Happening Out, do you see the cross that I have to carry?
Yeah.
He's very respected on the show, as you can tell.
It's a very heavy
here we
burden.
go. The passion of Christ over here.
That's right.
The God.
I just connected my Christ-like activity and gay porn all seamlessly together. Let's move on to question number 4 in I'd Swallow That. The lack of tourists means sister season has started early near me.
Okay, this is another term.
It started near me, but it didn't start for me.
On Q News tonight,
I'm
with
confused.
Misty and I tonight, David Hopkins sat in as one of the anchors for Q, and he's doing a great job. He wrote these 4 questions. At the end of this show, the first thing I'm going to do after my 4 whiskey shots is slap him right in the mouth.
Yeah. Well, I like another term that I was, educated on this evening. Sister. What is this?
Season.
Sister season.
When all the snowbirds go back home, it's fuck your sister season. It's what we do in
Colby's just going, yeah, that's right.
No, I mean,
Louisiana, I'm sure, doesn't have a season like we do, but our
Yes,
season
they
is...
do.
Do they?
Oh, you don't have a...
listen, this pandemic has put a halt on so many
people
things.
are just kind of stuck here. That's why I travel and I leave as much as possible. So there's no sister season because I get the fuck out.
Yeah, right.
But
Okay.
Florida, 50% of
So
our
you're the
cities-
sister. I mean, you're the non-sister.
You're the
If there is a
snowbird.
season someplace, you become the hors d'oeuvre.
Right.
Is that what you just told us?
That's what you heard, Al.
They can call me sister, mister, whatever they need.
Okay.
Okay.
And Aaron, you turn to your sisters. Yes? No?
I'm still confused about the question. I'm still not entirely sure what a sister season is.
Have you begun to thirst after your sister because there's a lack of tourists in South Florida or up where you are?
I feel like I'm not understanding how point A got to point B here. Like, I don't know what I'm missing. But
This is up for interpretation, okay? Because it doesn't necessarily mean that it has anything to do with you, but you can be an observation of your community practicing
That's why I
sister
took the shot.
season, okay?
I'm watching my friends
And
thirst after sister.
Power sits in Lakeland, which is, it might as well be Kentucky. And in Lakeland, you don't really have a season one way or another, even though you're in Central Florida. What happens? What happens with your sisters? There's Sean
We say,
Palacios
hey,
down here.
We say, hey, girl.
That's it. That's it. Same for me.
That's it. Hey, sister, and that's it. Ain't no
Girl.
sister season. We don't play that up here. Ain't no sister season up here.
Now, America, I just go back to the archives. You can see it on YouTube. That's easiest place. We played one of our Shag Marry Chops with Power.
I'm still traumatized by that.
Me too.
All right, so that's our game. What game are we playing? We're playing I'd Swallow That. That's our game, I'd Swallow That. And let's move on out of I'd Swallow That, and we hope you enjoyed it. Let's look at some celebrity hot topics in the news this week. First, we want to talk about Global Pride 2020. Now, we've gone through, of course, this is June, Gay Pride Month, and this is completely different than we've seen, I think probably generally in most of our lifetimes. After Stonewall 50 last year, this year for June has been completely different. And a major digital event, Global Pride 2020, is coming this weekend with celebrities and politicians from all over the world participating.
You all right?
Mother darling is checking on you, Al.
Thanks for calling that out, Power. You're my friend. I love you, sister.
You know she already had COVID. I'm just.
I've already had COVID. Come on down. I want to walk you around,
Lord
Wilton Drive. And anyone wants to know, they're going to have this major event and of a Pride celebration, and it's going to be our big one of this Global Pride 2020. We are welcoming, yeah, okay. So let's talk about Global Pride and what's coming up. Biden is going to speak at it.
Yeah, Nancy
Obama's going to speak at it, and Speaker Pelosi, etc. What do y'all think about this as a Pride event? First off, is this Pride digitally?
I think nobody can take our pride away from us, first of all, and how we celebrate our pride is obviously going to change during pandemic. I am vote blue no matter who, but I'm very eager to see what Joe Biden has to say on this, because he is the one that's going to need the LGBTQ vote. And as for the rest, I think it's a lot of people that are wanting to be relevant and people that are wanting to stay relevant. I mean, there's a couple people like Adam Lambert that I'm excited about, but mostly it's our politicians I want to see.
They're also doing that archive footage of George Michael, which is, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge fan.
There's a monkey on your back, watch out.
And I did an event back in New York City with Natasha Bedingfield, and she's a great ally of ours. And so, I mean, the country music stars. There were some really great people.
Leanne Rimes is on there.
I know, Leanne Rimes.
I'm like, she's a Christian. Come on, girl.
Yeah, you know, I was excited to see those names.
Other thoughts? Digital Pride, yes or no?
I mean, we have to be able to celebrate. So we can't be attached to what it looks like in this moment, okay? It's just like when you have a commitment to getting to losing 50 pounds, okay? And what are you going to do? If you're committed to losing 50 pounds, you're going to do whatever it takes to lose 50 pounds. Well, just like Pride, we get to celebrate Pride. And it doesn't matter what it looks like, and we're going to do whatever it takes to celebrate it.
Let me be devil's advocate for a moment. I know Colby is a big fixture at Los Angeles Pride. I've seen his integration in LA Pride. I know Power has done Prides all over the country. From my standpoint, if we want to have a political event, let's have a political event. If we want to have a digital concert, let's have a digital concert. But a live in-person experience of a parade or whatever it might be, interacting with Colby is a completely different experience, or attending an event where Power is spinning is a completely different experience. And those are interactive prides. A digital platform pride that becomes political and it tries to be entertaining, whatever it is not a pride.
Aaron was going to say something, I think.
What do y'all think about that?
I mean, I think we do whatever it is that we have to do. Like Josie said, we make it work. We find a way. That's what the LGBT community has always, that's how we've survived this far. It's our resilience and our resourcefulness. Al, you said that, it's a totally different experience. Maybe you're just looking at it from the wrong perspective. Maybe it's a good thing that it's a totally different experience. Maybe this is a way to experience Pride and really submerge yourself in it in a totally different way, in a more intellectual way or in a more analytical way, as opposed to just, let loose and party. It's an opportunity.
Let me try to challenge that observation just slightly different, please, and y'all indulge me. A big portion of what Pride is for is not to entertain ourselves or educate ourselves, but to make our presence aware to the broader community. And a digital Pride is not going to do that, because straight people are not going to be turning into World Pride no matter how good the digital platform is.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I don't think our Pride is about straight people at all, period. And even if they do show up and drive by to watch, they're not really attending our parades unless a gay person or lesbian or trans person brings them to our event, and that's a whole nother ball game.
How about advertising, news media, etc.? That you don't think that that's a big deal for our prides?
I feel very strongly about this, Al, and I do have to disagree with you on this one. I think, yes, pride gives us our visibility. Our visibility gives us our platform gives us our power, and our power gives us the ability to make change, and change gives us the ability to have progress. That is true. But first and foremost, we have to get back to the basics. What pride is all about is a celebration of us, for us. So if straight people ain't gonna come around, we're not gonna sit here and say, oh, well, girl, it ain't pride because straight people ain't there. It's pride because we're here.
But they can click online and watch too in secrecy.
They sure can.
Yeah.
They sure can.
Yeah. I'm curious, Colby, what do you think about...
We're gonna do our thing whether they come or not.
What do you think about that observation?
He done froze up.
I think it's what we got, so we don't really have a choice. You know, we can't do a traditional pride. And I think it allows us to be more message focused than just party focused, because in reality, pride has become more about partying, and a lot of people have lost the entire purpose of what pride stands for. So I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a year to kind of remind people of why this all started and what we really should be getting out of it.
And every Stonewall Street Festival that I've emceed almost all of them since 2005. And Wicked Manners, I've emceed every single one since 2007. There's always the politician segment. Our politicians always get on stage and they all have a message. The mayor always says something. Washerman Schultz says something. Like, they all tell the audience while they're captive, hey, we're here for you, etc. So it's not foreign to see politicians celebrate with a pride.
Interesting. Well, I agree with y'all's observation. It is what it is. In COVID, this is what the situation is. World Pride for 2020 is likely going to be the most viewed event. They're estimating in the hundreds of millions are going to participate, regardless of what the final number is in terms of donation and participation in the event. It is going to be the biggest event in 2020 for the LGBT community, and we hope it's widely successful and you participate in it in whatever way that you want to. Let's continue to move on, and before we move into our next segment, I want to thank Best Western I-95 here in Fort Lauderdale, Welton Manors. They are a sponsor of It's Happening Out, and we remind you that we are broadcasting from our permanent set here in the middle of the World AIDS Museum and Education Center, right here on the heart of Wilton Drive in Welton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We always joke, and you can see this by looking at the picture around me, we're broadcasting from the gayest place on planet Earth, bar none. Final thought is we want to thank Concepto Modern Living for helping us produce this set here in the World AIDS Museum. Next, we want to move to a segment that is often very fun. Our production team pays attention to many things that are interesting, and we try to bring them to your attention. You might have missed it. Social media is pretty deep in terms of all of the messages that are running at you, especially Trump messages in social media. And we call this segment Best Thing of the Week. And this week, we have an interesting, I'm told, I haven't seen it yet, an interesting best thing of the week that is called Trump Apologizes for His, now wait a minute, power. Are you paying close attention? We're getting ready to show that Donald Trump apologized for something.
What?
First time in 3.5 years.
Okay.
Trump apologizes for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Getting ready to see it.
Pay attention, folks.
Hi, I'm Liz Plank, and as a Canadian and as a woman, I consider myself a foremost expert when it comes to apologizing. And I was just thinking that there's one particular person that we could all use an apology from right now, and since he hasn't done it, I thought I would say it for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm announcing I'm sorry for the way I handled the whole coronavirus pandemic right now. I'm doing a very, very terrible job. Thousands of people are dying and dying. Violently dying. It's kind of my fault. Can you believe the fake news is still showing my briefings in these briefings? Well, I think I've been incredibly racist toward the Asian Americans. We have to protect our Asian Americans. For me, I suggested medical treatments like hydroxychloroquine. and a disinfectant. Even though I'm not a doctor, Please listen to Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx. Again, I'm not a doctor. I have blamed a lot of people, and I'm not just blaming President Obama. I blame the governors, the World Health Organization, and China for my big failure. That was a tremendous failure with regard to the virus. I can say very honestly, I'm just a third-rate president. I will tell you, a tremendous danger to our country. But don't worry about it. In a few months, you can vote. One day, my presidency will go away. You know it is going away. I said this virus will go away fast, and it hasn't. So please thank our healthcare workers. And remember this, ultraviolet or just very powerful light is not a cure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, America, you don't know this, but I
Yes.
have close-up cameras on all of our remote hosts that are participating in the show tonight, and I have a very close-up picture of Power, and there's a little tear running down his cheek for his being so overwhelmed for that amazing apology.
That should go viral.
Well, I was the one that actually posted this video and then tagged all of our It's Happening Our crew and production in it. And I'm glad that we put this one on. Truer words have never been spoken by the Lion King. So I do appreciate
The Lion King.
Finally, admitting to, his faults and his fallacies.
Any other thoughts about what we just saw the president honestly and from his heart?
Yeah, in his own words.
The most coherent speech he ever gave.
See, there you go.
Right, exactly right. I loved how he said he was a third-rate president.
Yeah.
I love
I'm a third-rate president.
In all seriousness of this very funny piece, don't you think it's hilarious that she, noted comedian Liz, that there is some irony that a Canadian did it? She's Canadian.
The whole world is laughing at us.
And the whole world is laughing at America. And she makes the point, in Canada, we breathe apology. Oh, wait, let me start with an apology. And that's what makes this so funny for me, is it took a Canadian to go, hey, hello, south of the border, what's going on? What's going on? That's what's really funny about what we just watched, which is not very funny. But that's why I love watching the tear go right down Power's cheek. Just saying. Let's move on to a segment called What's on Your Mind. Each week, we ask our hosts to tell us in just 30 seconds what is important to them this week. And we ask them to do it in 30 seconds. I have a timer to watch it. But we really want to hear what the big issues are for them, or issue for them this week. And it allows us to get some insight of what they think is important and what we have watched in the week before us here in the middle of June. And Colby, let's start with you. You're sitting in Lafayette, and you are the new host at Gay Town Hall. Tell us what is on your mind this week.
What's on my mind as a result of getting on social media and seeing several people start to have mental breakdowns, I think mental health issues are on my mind right now. I think what's going on, everything in the world, including COVID and Black Lives Matter, people have been locked inside and they haven't really been able to take care of their mental health. So I would just urge everybody to reach out to that friend that you haven't heard anything from for a while and just check in, because it can go a long way.
Colby, I don't know if you have heard, beautiful sentiment, we reported just tonight on Q News Tonight. Do you remember the number, what the number was?
That's what I was going to use for my thing. Can I go next?
Oh, yeah. Let's go to Misty.
Yeah, because that's what's going to be on my mind. Is tonight on Q News Tonight, we reported about the 988 hotline. You know how there's 911 for emergencies? There's going to be 988 for mental health crises. It's going to be a national line from any phone in America you can call if you're going through suicidal thoughts or ideation. But I don't know how extensive they're going to go to it, and that's what's on my mind. I really hope that there's a follow-through. I hope that they link them to support groups. I hope they link them to therapists that are local. I also hope that if they're struggling with suicidality because they're homeless, or if they're struggling because they're trans, or if they're struggling because whatever, they help them link to resources that can help them better themselves and not be so mentally handicapped at this moment.
America, because you didn't have the benefit. Colby makes the observation. Misty talks about it. The benefit of this news is super, super important. Might be very reassuring to Colby. This is an FCC initiative. So they are going to move suicide prevention to the same level as 911 emergency.
Brilliant.
And by 988, it means anything you cut right to it. Dial 988 and you're getting to somebody that is trained to know how to deal with the exact moment of the 911 mental-like, suicide-like potential emergency.
It'll be as soon as July.
Yes, and to get you to the appropriate services that you need where they can do that. And they're going to make this final decision in the middle of next month. It really is incredibly good news. Continuing on what's on your mind, Power, let's come to you next.
Well, quickly, two things are on my mind. First, I'm extremely concerned about the rise of COVID cases in Florida. We had 5,511 new cases. That's a new daily high mark for Florida. 109,014 since the pandemic began. And where you guys are, my co-host down there in Broward County, 473 new cases were reported just today alone. So we really need to refocus on this pandemic and take it seriously because, it's something that really is going to impact, if it already hasn't, every single person. The other thing that's on my mind a little lighter is Donald Trump's rally flop. I'm just loving it, and I'm thankful. Yes, indeed. That's what's on my mind. That's going to stay on my mind for a while.
Yeah, it's going to stay there. One of the things that I want to mention, Power gives me the opportunity. On Thursday night on Q News Tonight, our top-rated show for the entire week. Last week, 100,000 people watched in YouTube Q News Tonight, and it is because we do a segment called Q's Q&A. We bring the former executive director of the American National HIV Institute, Dr. Howard Grossman, in and answer questions. And he is going to beat us all. He's gay, a world-renowned HIV expert and infectious disease expert, and he answers your questions tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Q News Tonight. And he is going to tell us, I know, it's like the 18th week in a row that we have done this segment, and he is going to answer Power's observation in terms of recommitment. And he's going to say it's simplicity of message and wear a fucking mask. He says it every week, wear a fucking mask. Every week, wash your hands and practice social isolation, and we recommit to getting this under control. So Power, thank you for giving me the opportunity to reiterate what the medical professionals are telling us. And the reason this is happening is we're not following the advice. Aaron, Phoenix, what's on your mind this week?
Well, what's on my mind kind of rolls right into all of that. I was recently, over the past week, I was going back and binge watching It's Happening Out, starting back in March, the last time I was actually over there with you guys. And it was just absolutely astounding to me how misinformed and how underinformed we all were. It was hard to watch as we were, reporting kind of the beginnings of this whole coronavirus thing becoming a pandemic. Just seeing how not seriously we were taking it. Even when we were taking it seriously, or we thought we were so misinformed and so underinformed as to how serious it was going to be that if only we could travel back in time, I wanted to shake each and every one of us and tell us that this is way bigger than we have had any idea.
Aaron, you just shook me to my feet, because America, if you're a new viewer, to Aaron's amazing observation there of, I'm sorry everyone, you know what I'm getting ready to say.
Yeah, it's true though.
We lost our host and friend to COVID-19, Ron Berninski, and I listened to what Aaron just said to me, and a wave of regret and other emotions just wash over me of going, oh my gosh, what should I have done different?
Yeah, there was a moment where Ron was speaking about, being careful and being educated about the virus, but don't freak out, don't panic. We're going to go about life as normal. and he leaned over and he said, "Don't worry, Josie, you and I are still going to hug." And just every like molecule in my body was like, oh my God. It was really hard to watch.
Yeah, and he was positive at that time. I watched that episode again too.
Yeah, little did we all know.
I'm giving pause to give anyone the opportunity. If any of you wanted to say anything, it would be okay. All right, we take a moment to think about our friend and our co-host, Ron Berninski. Aaron, thank you so much for that opportunity. And we come to what's on your mind this week, Chef Josie.
Well, there's a lot of things on my mind, but in this moment right now, you know, it is about, you know, in addition to what Colby said, this mental health. It's been on my mind for weeks now, and it's because I'm just walking the streets. I'm going about my day. I'm putting my my business back together. I'm on a campaign trail. I'm doing everything and doing everything I can to keep life moving. And I can only think about it even from my own perspective. But I'm watching the pain around me, and you know, my friend just lost her daughter. My brother was just hurt. He's healing. My father is dealing with stress and came down with an ailment. I mean, stress and anxiety is manifesting in our bodies and in our attitudes and in our way of being beyond what we're even conscious of, subconsciously even, and we're making ourselves even more sick with the stress and the anxiety. And it's very hard to be able to say to a friend who is in the need of speaking to someone, you know, I'm available all the time, but it's really about where's the help right now for all of these people.
Yeah, and I want to take the opportunity to remind everyone, Chef Josie is running for mayor of Wilton Manors, the gayest place on planet Earth. We continue to wish her luck in those endeavors to take what we do here and to something super important, which is volunteering for political office. Let's move out of what's on your mind and move into our principal topic issues that we would like to talk about tonight. And the first one is an interesting one. We've visited it before, but it really is so critically important in LGBT June, Pride Month. And we want to remember the rainbow. Specifically, there's so much conversation about our flag and what colors should be represented and what our flag represents. And of course, to remind you, red is for life, orange is for healing, yellow is for sunshine, green is for nature, blue is for harmony, and violet for spirit. We asked tonight, how can we celebrate these values during our journey in Pride? And are there any other flags that you use besides the rainbow flag? What are y'all's thoughts?
I use the trans flag, obviously, as a cis woman.
I like that flag that combines the trans flag with the black, brown stripe and then the rainbow flag. That one is that's like the pride flag to another level.
It's like recognizing the marginalized communities within our community.
What do y'all think, guys, and just in general, what do y'all think about our rainbow flag? Is it valuable today? Does it mean what we think it means? Do we celebrate it the way we should? Are there additional colors, or it doesn't matter?
Well, I mean, I've kind of shifted my position a little bit from when we first discussed this, which was actually we first discussed this in our first year about the flag. And at that time, I was all for just keeping the flag the way it is. Now I'm a little bit more open to, you know, including like the different colors and everything else. My issue is I just don't like the proposed new flag. I just don't like the way it looks. I feel that there's a way we can incorporate different marginalized groups in our community without it looking so tacky.
You know, Power, I want to interrupt you a moment because I want to show you something that has recently been done about the flag. And then let's come back to this issue after we watch this.
The rainbow wasn't always the symbol for LGBTQ pride. In fact, the iconic flag wouldn't show up until almost a decade after Stonewall. This is the real history of the rainbow pride flag. So what's the origin of the rainbow flag? To understand the pride flag's history, we're going all the way back to World War II with the pink triangle. Like the Jewish Star of David, the triangle was used to mark LGBTQ prisoners in concentration camps. Enter Gilbert Baker, artist, army vet, drag queen. Baker created the very first rainbow pride flag. Baker picked the rainbow because he wanted it to symbolize our diversity in race, gender expression, and age. And he might have also recognized the importance of a certain Judy Garland song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, to our community. The first pride flag actually had 8 colors, each stripe with a different meaning: gender, life, healing, sunlight, nature, art, harmony, and spirit. But the flag kept changing. Hot pink and indigo got dropped because they cost too much to be mass produced. Over the years, different groups have come up with their own flags. A trans flag, a bi flag, a straight ally flag, even a flag for bears. Hey, nice. There's even a new flag that blends the trans flag with an updated rainbow flag that includes a black and brown stripe to recognize people of color in the LGBTQ community. Baker loved seeing different interpretations of the flag. The whole reason Milk and Baker wanted a flag in the first place was to have something by and for the community. However it evolves, the flag is always meant to reflect the times and be more inclusive. That's why it'll never be finished, and always grow to be more welcoming of all the identities and individuals in our amazing LGBTQ community.
So, Power, let's come back to what you teed up. It gave me the opportunity to show this message. There's lots of conversation in the LGBT community of what should be next. By the way, there's much conversation that the rainbow colors and flag are obsolete and that we don't need to represent it anymore, to how it gets modified to incorporate, which was your issue. What do you think about the black and brown editions?
I mean, I like I said, I've shifted, and I think that I think it should be included. I'm all for it. I'm not an artist, but I know what I don't like, and so I would just like somebody that is more creative and more artistic than me to be able to incorporate it in a better looking version than I've already seen.
And I'm sorry, did you say 4.7 billion other people more creative than you? Is that what you just said?
That's what I said.
That's what you said. Aaron,
Exactly.
What do you think? What do you think about black and brown addition to the flag? Is that important to you?
I think, yeah, of course. I've lost friends over the years over this conversation, which just brings to light exactly the issue that is the whole purpose behind the design in the first place, is the fact that we don't have these conversations about race, about racial disparities, about the racism within our communities. So I think the whole purpose of the flag in general, or the flags in general, is to start conversations and to identify with one another. You know, in the Middle Ages, when knights and soldiers didn't have, they couldn't see their faces because they were covered by these this metal armor. The way that they identified each other and found each other on the battlefield was through their flags, was through their shields, their coats of arms. So this is a way in today's world, when we often have to kind of, hide until we are able to find ourselves and find each other. This is our battle stripes. This is our way that we identify one another in adversity.
We have,
so, of course, can be important.
we have, in addition to that, so we briefly talked about black edition, brown edition. Both of those, by the way, we have to credit the LGBT community, I think, in Philadelphia, because they initially were the most vocal about the
Black and brown.
of black and brown. But here in Onset, here in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, we have Filipino representation, we have trans representation. If we add black and brown, there's not going to be an Asian designation in our rainbow flag. There's not going to be a trans designation in our flag. So you'll have to be satisfied with a different flag, even if we do that. What do y'all think about that?
That was very devil's advocate of you, Al.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it gets into the conversation again. I'm gonna bounce off of Aaron right now, but it gets into the conversation of starting the dialogue, right? Starting the dialogue, and this is what it is. And you can be the devil's advocate, Al, because that's perfect. It makes us start thinking about, our labels and our rainbow colors and all of these things. Like, why do we even put the gravity of importance on these materialistic, these labels that we hold on to? Maybe that's why there are now these, non-binary and non-gender conforming, and people are just tired of the labels. We saw some, Pepsi or Coca-Cola or someone who did that and removed all the colors from the M&Ms and the Skittles. It's like, maybe we just need to neutralize everything so we can get back to grounded.
But as to your point,
I
Al,
agree. And back to what Power said about creativity, gays and the LGBT community are some of the most creative people I know. And the most we've been able to come up to is like colored stripes. I think that we could do better than that.
Yeah.
To your original point, Al, I'm going to tell you that I do love my Asian sister, Miss Josie, and I've dated many Korean. I still remember how to say some things. 안녕 히가세요 in Korean. And I love my Asian friends. But when most countries and their ethnic backgrounds come to America, they're deemed white, and they're automatically given white privilege. They are not judged as harshly as black and brown people in this country. So fortunately for Josie, for the most part, she's going to get white privilege. Real talk.
Well, maybe the Puerto Rican part of me doesn't allow for that. So I'm Puerto Rican, Italian, Filipino, and a lesbian.
Okay, now you just fucked
a butch lesbian. So, that kind of...
And butch. Did you say you're a mutt?
A lipstick butch lesbian.
Yeah, I'm a butch. That's what they call them.
All right. Well, broadly, I think, and to Colby's challenge, when the rainbow flag was created in the 1970s, it was just to create identification,
unification,
for the movement of unification, not to necessarily represent any specific set. The development over the last 40 years, the last 50 years, has been to be the gay community, which evolved into the gay and lesbian community, which evolved into the gay and lesbian and bisexual community, which evolved into the gay, lesbian, transsexual, bisexual community. Then it reversed in terms of the lesbians becoming first for identification and became the LGBTQ community.
Now it's
then
the
we added Q, and then we added A. And you have seen in the last year, we've reported it on this show, the addition of many, many letters. It's an indication of possibly a lack of creativity, that this most creative community in the world is having such a need to identify itself on such a micro level that we have forgotten the real reason why we had a rainbow flag anyway. What do y'all think about that?
I think we need to scrap the acronym, and let go of this idea that these things are labels. And they're just words. Sometimes the labels that we have for things are just language. It's just the way that we communicate. It's the way that our communication and our vernacular evolves over time so that we can better relate to each other, so we can get laid more easily, for example. If we let go of this whole, oh my God, another label, oh my God, another letter, throw the acronym out the window, throw the alphabet soup thing out the window, and maybe let's just have conversations with each other about who are you? How do you identify? What do these words, these labels, so to speak, mean to you? If we have actual conversations about what the words mean to the individuals who are using them, then maybe we can get off of the hyperfixation on how many letters do we have, and do we have enough stripes to fit everybody?
That's interesting. I'm going to give any brief final thoughts before we move on. I want to give production heads up that we're going to move to Saved by the Bell next. So I give you the heads up. Any final thoughts? Here?
Yes, I got a final thought. I once again would like to push and promote for our community to just use SAGA, Sexuality and Gender Alliance, and just be done with it. All this alphabet soup shit, that's for the birds. I'll run out of breath before I can say all them words. And I love everybody, and I want everybody to feel included, but we have to have, once again, like the flag, we are a very creative family and group of people. We can come up with a better way to include everybody than the whole alphabet and then Greek letters and hieroglyphics and all that shit. It's too much.
I clearly heard. Any final thoughts? Other final thoughts?
Mine's not quick.
If okay, for another show then.
I've never disagreed with power before, and this is the first time. So I was going to comment, but I can't think of how to say it really quickly.
America, tune in next Wednesday night at It's Happening Out, and we're going to have the battle of the century.
No, it's not a battle. It's just, I disagree. I think that people do identify in different ways. That's it. And I don't know how to say it. I have a story that I tell in my trainings. I don't know how to do it in 5 seconds, so never mind.
All right. So we shan't do it. That's the reality. Next week on It's Happening Out. Next, we are going to play Saved by the Bell. This is a lightning round of LGBTQ topics that are in the news this week or other headlines that we're going to give LGBT perspective of. Each one of these stories we're going to discuss only 60 to 90 seconds. Colby, I can't wait to see you watch all of these people try to tell the story in 60 to 90 seconds. The fun thing about...
Go first. If you have something to say, go first.
I have this little bell right here, and it's red and blue. And when we get to the end time, I tell this story, and in fact, so many people have commented on it on social media to me directly. I live for interrupting power in mid-syllable. It's one of my greatest highlights for the week. I just do that.
He gets all
power
of it.
must
Not just
immediately
power.
stop speaking, and it is satisfying. It's better than cocaine. Better than cocaine. So, everybody... Sorry?
You would know.
All right, so here we go.
I've got pictures.
All right, so here we go. When we ring the bell, we'll move on. This is called Saved by the Bell. Headline story number 1. Marvel fans are demanding that the Pose star Dominique Jackson play Storm.
Woo, didn't I just say this last week?
Yeah, you did.
Come on, mother.
Yeah, you did.
All for it.
I don't know who would be against it. She's like the
I think
perfect
it's
storm.
important for her to play it.
Yeah, giving trans actors major platforms, abso-fucking-lutely. Down.
She'd be fierce.
Anybody else?
Is this going to be a round
let me not.
One of the
Echo
most beloved superheroes of all time, being trans. Absolutely.
Sickening. She's tall, statuesque, powerful, dominant. She's bitchy. She's sickening.
You know,
Well, I disagree with all of you. I'm fully against it.
Oh, you want Beyonce?
Are you
Somebody
really?
should just be against it.
Oh, just to do it.
No,
Okay.
somebody should just be against
All right. One of the things, let me change the subject slightly.
Oh, Lord.
Let me change the subject slightly on this. What is it? I didn't realize this until I started happening out, or started with happening out. What is it about the geek nature of the LGBT community? It is dramatic in terms of the interest in Marvel and other related things. It surprised me.
I have an opinion.
Why?
Because, go ahead. Aaron?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in, but yeah, because we're a bullied community. We are a marginalized people. These characters are people who overcame that and used their power for something greater than themselves.
And it also has to do, in my opinion, especially that, but also the closet. Most people have a secret identity and they hide in the daytime and then they become their super self.
I've never thought about
And I used to tell people that I was Clark Kent in the daytime and Wonder Woman at night.
Great. We'll leave it there. We're going to move on to headline story number 2. Thousands of Trump supporters cheered as he drank from a glass of water. We're showing that picture right now. His hands wobbled as he moved his glass to his mouth.
I don't get it.
Think.
Guys, maybe he had like low sugar or something.
Low sugar.
Go Power.
Well, because for him, it's a great achievement. I mean, the man needs 2 hands to drink a glass of water. And so for him, can you imagine? I mean, just stop for a second and think about it. Can you imagine that people are cheering for you just because you drink a fucking glass of water? I mean, that's pathetic.
Well, the one thing I do know is he doesn't need 2 hands for anything else.
Just imagine how crazy they'd go if they saw him wipe his own ass.
Oh.
Oh my God.
You know,
So
it's
this
funny.
is-
Go ahead, Aaron. Go
I
ahead.
guess this whole thing is he was shaky when he drank his water, so we were speculating that he was sick or something. Can we speculate on the fact that he's a Nazi? Like, can we speculate on like the fact that he's a fascist? Can we talk about like I'm so sick and tired of talking about Donald Trump. Like I can't wait until he's gone so that we can just not talk about him.
Can't wait. One interesting thing, I don't know if you've seen it yet. The RNC, Trump endorsed, it's one of his PACs, launched an ad against Joe Biden. talking and showing the gaffes of the pauses of Joe Biden, implying at 77 years old, he is too old to be president of the United States. This is being launched from this picture you see, from the 74-year-old, that the 77-year-old is
3 years
old.
3 years.
Well, Joe Biden's commercial of Donald Trump was even better. You know, when him and Obama were running through the White House, and then it showed Donald Trump at the end. trying to think of,
I love the way you did that to your mouth. All right, story headline number 3. A pastor claims that bisexuals are gutless like white people pretending to be black or brown. In other words, bisexuality ain't true. And they're gutless.
well, I guess you agreed with him.
Do you agree with him?
No,
that's an inside joke. It's an inside joke.
That we talked about bisexuality doesn't exist.
It's not so inside anymore.
But Aaron and Josie,
didn't
Al start off with that same notion or idea that bisexuality was not true?
Sure. Bing. It took a whole entire sexuality episode to convince him of bisexuality. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Colby, do you understand my pain? Is it becoming clear to you?
Bisexuality is 100% real.
That's true. You walked into that one.
I did walk into that.
And pansexuality.
Even the boomer having some schooling was worthwhile.
Listen, that comment just point blank is ignorant. So, I mean, I don't even know why we're even giving it any gasoline.
All right. Well, let's move on to headline story number 4. And we move to something local here in South Florida. A local business owner, a restaurant owner, spits in a bartender's face of a bar that is a 5-minute walk from this studio set in the World AIDS
Both of them
Museum.
are
and spits in his face because he is required to wear a mask.
Are we allowed to say the names of the businesses?
Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah, we've reported in the queue.
Wilton Wings, ain't that the name? Wilton Wings. Let's call it
Wings.
out.
All right.
And he's spit in Shane's face, and Shane
At
is a
Village
better
Pub.
bitch than me. Shane's a better bitch than me. Bitch, you spit in my face, you just better prepare to go meet Jesus. Because trust me, I have to say something seriously. I think that when somebody, especially in today's day and time, somebody spits in somebody's face, I really think that they should be charged with attempted murder. Because that really is the potential extent of what can happen in today's day and age. It's really attempted murder.
I agree.
Don't you think that it is, it's not appropriate in this reference in terms of white privilege, but in an analogous situation that it is the epitome to do something that would totally violate your person in COVID, which is this is a respiratory disease. So the number one thing, even over sneezing on you could do is spitting on you. That's what he was doing.
And the business owner was behind the bar where customers are not allowed to be, and he didn't have a mask on. And Shane said, please, you can't be back here, and you don't have a mask on. You have to put a mask on. And he spit on him, said, do you know who I am? Bitch, I don't care who the fuck you are.
It's ultimate privilege.
And after Shane, after Shane has seen his own friend die from COVID, he had a friend in the Broward Sheriff's Office, the deputy
Shannon,
that had died from COVID. So, and then you go spit on the man and potentially, now what happened if Shane got sick and he was somebody that was high risk and he ended up dying? That's why I said something like this should really be attempted murder. It's just, you just can't do that.
And just to add on to Power's thought, I don't know if you've seen the new survey that came out. New survey shows 46, you talk about Shane having personal experience with somebody dying. 46% of all Americans now have personal experience. Family member, friend, somebody that they are acquainted with, a co-worker. 46% of all Americans are associated with somebody who has died from COVID-19. So when he spit at him, he's affecting 46% of all of us because we instantly know what he
Trigger.
was doing, the trigger.
Yeah.
Let's move on to headline story question number 6. And it goes crazy.
Oh my God.
Joe Exotic is asking for Black
That is
Lives
very-
Matter for help, citing prison as American slave trade.
Bitch, you
would
don't
like to
even
start?
go here. You don't even go here. This has nothing to do with you.
I personally, I love it. You know, as crazy as that guy is, okay, Joe Exotic. I mean, he's using his platform to speak some truth. We've been knowing about private-owned, industrialized incarceration. That's big business, okay? So he's blowing it up. Maybe he's also being a opportunist, but he's also, speaking some truth. And, God bless his heart.
Power, did you know that his principal, one of his principal places, is right in your neighborhood in Sarasota, the Big Cat Sanctuary? That's one of the big facilities that.
Wild man.
That bitch, Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
I do know that a clip was cut from Tiger King that features Joe Exotic saying that, and I quote, "I can't say the N-word, but you get on YouTube and watch any black man's rap video, and they're calling each other the N-word. I mean, is this discrimination?" So, I hear Joe Exotic's point about, the prison system, and I know he wants Black Lives Matter to help him, and, I'm all for doing the Jesus thing, but he needs to, he has some racial issues that he needs to deal with himself. It's funny how everybody wants Black Lives Matter to help them when they're in a bind, but when you're free and fancy, you don't give a damn.
Okay. We are going to go to Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, you got
Oh,
shot.
wait.
You got
Did
shot.
Colby try to get in?
Nope. Ding, ding.
Oh, all right. Story headline number 7 in Saved by the Bell. A police officer cries because her McMuffin took too long.
Oh, boy.
Her egg McMuffin.
Oh, boy.
Now, Colby, go first.
Yeah, go.
No?
Her name's got to be Karen.
No, but you guys, I'm gonna be real with you guys for a second. These officers are going through shit right now. They are going through shit and war, and the whole world is throwing a lot of hate bombs on them. And she's, I'm sure, dealing with a lot of stuff. I'm sure she can't sleep. I'm sure she's getting death threats. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes when we're going through shit and our Egg McMuffin takes too long, we might cry. I mean, it could be something stupid as that, but there's a lot of shit happening. It is not easy to be a cop, period.
I love
and it is super
that
hard right now.
observation. I just love that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the reality. We talk
Fair,
about mental
totally
health.
fair.
We just spoke about mental health. Mental health is all across the board. That includes men and women in uniform. And I mean, as ridiculous as it may have appeared to be, like Misty says, you don't know what her day looked like. This might have just been the cherry on the cake, on the pie, on the Sunday or whatever.
I'm sure times has been very hard for her. But if that's the case, then girl, get you a therapist. Okay, put down the gun, because I don't trust y'all when you're mentally unstable. Apparently,
She's got good insurance.
The basic conditions of your job that you, by the way, signed up for willingly on purpose. So sorry, forgive me if I'm not breaking out the world's tiniest violin for this one.
Yeah, I'm with Aaron on that. And I totally hear Josie and Misty, and I know that you guys are right. Let me repeat that. I know that you guys are right, but it's hard for me to feel any empathy.
I hear you.
When it comes to police officers, any at all, especially me, who is a victim of police brutality. I don't give a damn.
I hear you on that.
Real briefly, super briefly, because this is coming out of the blue. If I said that the bad cops that are expressed by both Aaron and Power's observation represent 2% of all of the police officers in America, would that be a fair number? Just guess, gut guess. Would that be a fair number, or is it too low?
I don't think that would be. I think that would be way too low.
What would the number be? What's your guess?
I think 50%.
You honestly think that 50% of the cops are evil and hateful?
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because between the bad cops and then the so-called good cops that sit there and don't do anything, that don't hold them to any type of accountability, that will sit there and stand in solidarity with them, yes, I think it's 50%.
Wow.
And then the other 50% is the system. So it's all 100% fucked up.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. All right.
I hear you.
I was curious. I asked. All right. Those are our headlines for this week for Saved by the Bell. Before we end tonight's show, we want to play another game. And it's called Shag, Marry, Chop. And this is a fun game because we ask the host who and why and what. And everybody knows what we're talking about. Tonight, for the first time since we have been doing this show, and we're approaching 2 years of It's Happening Out, the most popular live gay TV show in the world, we are going to play Shag, Marry, Chop tonight live. Instead of pictures or digital animation pictures, we're going to play the game live. Now, we've never done this before. It's going to be very exciting. I can't wait.
I bet you
to
can.
See. I can't wait to see who gets.
I've never done this before.
Yeah, I've never done this before. You gay people, it's so strange to me. I just don't understand it. All right.
I'll let you know right now. I told the production this today. I am not chopping one person.
They can't hear you.
Anybody.
They can't hear you. They can hear us.
It doesn't matter. What I'm gonna do is I'm changing the game to Shag, Marry, and whose baby I will.
To our models that are playing tonight, Power says he's not going to chop anybody. It's whose baby. The third choice is going to be whose baby he's going to have tonight. Oh no, you're not, Power. You are playing our game. It's Shag, Marry, Chop. Power's been on the show since day one, and he has trouble with rules. Does that shock anybody? Does anyone shocked with rules?
Well, you don't even play, Al. You never play.
Yeah.
Well, tonight maybe I will.
I know you're feeling frisky, eh?
Exactly. All right, so let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. We're in Fort Lauderdale after all, and there was a very famous
And it's sister
movie,
season.
And it's sister
season, hey.
Good for Chef Josie. You learned something tonight.
Come on, trendy.
From the gay boys. And we're going to play here in Fort Lauderdale Where the Boys Are.
Yeah.
And so we've brought in some what we think are some of the hottest gay guys here in South Florida in summer wear, swimsuits by Estevez Swimwear. And we love this opportunity to get to see swimsuits. That's nice because we all need swimsuits.
So pick the best swimsuit or pick the best model?
Well, a little from column A and a little from column B. All right, so tonight we get a bit of a break as our models are here and they're live and they can hear the host. And
they can't hear the virtual host.
Right, they can't hear the virtual host. I'll repeat, and you have the option of picking what item of clothing you wouldn't want instead of what model you would like to chop, etc. And so y'all are getting all of this, right? All right, it's mostly an excuse to look at hot, naked guys.
Even though they're in the other room.
I know. I was
It's
like,
not that
Aaron, what's
complicated,
going on here?
All
They're
right.
kind of virtual for us too. They're not even in this room.
Yes, right. Secrets. All right, so
I
tonight.
charge by the hour, Al, just so you know.
I
need your agent.
I
need your agent.
So tonight, our models are Rikk York, and there's Rikk. And the World AIDS Museum has never seen anything like this before, by the way. And Hussain is next, and he's in the middle. And Brian, and you see their social media handles. And by social media handles, yes, Brian has just touched his. And we love the swimwear, and we love the clothing acumens. Who would like to start in playing Shag, Marry?
Start virtual.
Yes, let's start virtual. I want to, actually, here's a good opportunity. Let's start with, Colby, do you have any experience with wearing anything like this? You probably don't. You've probably never done it, right?
Never. Always skimpier.
Yeah, okay. All right. Rikk or Hussain or Brian? Of course, we're talking about the swimsuits. Who would you shag?
Wait, do we get to know about
first off,
them?
let me start by saying I would shag all of them, so feel free to slide into my DMs after.
So I have to repeat you. Hold on.
I'm going to shag Brian.
Okay. Brian is being shagged. All right.
Okay.
Brian.
Well, all of them to be shagged after.
All of them to be shagged.
Colby's going to shag all of you, and he wants DMs after the show. All right.
I'm going to marry York.
Rikk is
York
being
is getting
married. Yeah. Oh,
And
Hussain.
I'm only going to chop Hussain because I want his swimsuit.
He's going to steal your
Hussain
swimsuit.
is out only because of the swimsuit. However, Colby has just said your turn. He may have to reevaluate his choices. All right. All right, great. Power. No. I'm going to hold on to Power. Aaron, you tell me who are you shagging? Now, wait, guys, I have to tell you first. Here's something you don't know about Aaron. This choice is really, really important. In the time that Aaron's been on the show, how long, Aaron, have you done It's Happening Out?
It feels like at least 17 years.
You know, MF, how long,
MF.
seriously?
A year and a half, I guess.
Okay, okay, all right, so a year and a half. This is a big moment, Rikk, Hussain, Brian, because Aaron is a person
Is a transsexual.
Well, no. I wasn't going to talk about the transsexual thing. That's of no note importance. What's really important here, guys, is Aaron has shags whoever he can have the rough sex, angry sex with.
Show us your rough pose.
So one of you are getting ready to be selected because you're going to be the roughest, angriest sexual partner that Aaron can pick. So Aaron, who is that this week? Who are you shagging?
They're not doing rough poses.
This is completely easy. So that was great. So let's see. We're going to have to shag. Okay, first of all, I have to say that Hussain's reaction immediately gave him all the points.
Hussein's got all the points.
He was immediately
Y'all,
into it.
Hussein's reaction is giving him all of the points right now.
His confidence is showing.
Confidence is showing.
The confidence. You knew right away it was you. You started stretching. Like,
Wait, when he turned sideways and I saw the silhouette, I saw the confidence. I saw it. Yes. Okay.
Yes, exactly. That
So-
BDE, that big dick energy.
Exactly, the big dick energy.
big dick
And by the way, to all of our models, Aaron has coined the word, and it's happening out, big dick energy, which
The
is
BDE.
which is a funny, interesting observation from Aaron Phoenix, and it is a bullseye. So you're shagging who?
Yeah, which one are you shagging?
Because Brian seemed a little like he felt like he needed to fluff them feathers up and show he had a little something to prove. So I feel like that'll be fun, but only for a night.
You're
Hussain-
wait. I got it because we have the delay, Aaron. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm clear here. Who are you shagging?
We're shagging Brian because we're gonna get that attitude right out of the
Brian
way.
gets the
We're
vote
shagging.
from Aaron Phoenix. Congratulations.
Aaron is bringing a friend.
Okay, all right. Congratulations, Brian. You're going to be the angry sex partner tonight. The rougher, the better. And who are you marrying?
We're marrying Hussain because he looks like he can handle the angry, rough sex.
Hussain has been saved and is now married.
Yeah.
And Hussain, God bless you because you
have a
believe me.
You have a handful.
And wait. And you're gonna chop Rikk
because his facial reaction was he looked a little too surprised when you said rough sex, and I don't need somebody who's new to this.
Wait.
You knew.
Rikk,
You knew.
Aaron Phoenix has just called you out in the chop because when I talked about Aaron's rough sex,
You looked
thought
timid.
you were too mild in your response and therefore couldn't keep up with him.
Your
He's a
facial
nasty pig model.
expression.
Tell him to look him up on Pornhub.
Yeah, look him up on Pornhub. girl.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
Aaron,
I'm certain I won't.
yeah. Be sure and look Rikk up on Pornhub.
But he is a model on Nasty Pig.
Okay, now Power, let's move to you. Guys, by the way, Rikk, Hussain, Brian, Power has said he's not going to play the game because he's not chopping anybody. We have laid down the law. He's going to follow our rules, so somebody must be chopped. That's the way it is. That's the final rule.
No, bitch, I laid down the law. I said what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
All right,
So,
let's start with this. Shagging.
So, okay, so I'm going to shag Rikk York.
Rikk York is
shag
being shagged. All right, there we go.
Diva Power Infiniti.
And who are you marrying?
I am going to marry Hussain.
Hussain is being married. Why are you going to marry Hussain? I'm curious.
Because I also like rough, angry sex too.
Rough, angry sex.
When Aaron had said that, you know, he got all ready to fight, and I like that. So yeah,
and Hussain can't hear you, so I'm translating for you. I feel like I'm at the UN.
Don't worry, the boys will be able to rewatch this.
Choosing you to marry because he is now titillated by what Aaron has said on rough, angry sex, and he wants to marry the person that's going to be the rough, angry sex, and you're the guy that he is choosing. And so you're chopping Brian?
No, I am not. Hell no, I'm not chopping Brian at all.
Power says, Brian, that he's chopping you. You're out. You're done. You're finished.
No, I did not say that. I am bearing Brian's children.
Brian, he's absolutely insistent.
Power,
he cannot stop.
You're her baby daddy.
He's out. He's chopped.
Brian.
I'm finished with him. He's done.
Wrong.
Brian, those are the exact words.
He said you're her baby daddy.
Brian,
that booty, Power.
You're going to be bearing Power's children.
I said I'll bear his children.
Power's bearing your children, Brian.
You're the baby daddy.
Brian, really, to be honest with you, I'm lying to you because he's absolutely saying none of the words coming out of my mouth. I'm pulling a Donald Trump. It's called
Lord.
And when we said that you were going to be burying his children tonight in the chopping instead of
Not
chopping,
burying.
he quickly corrected the fact that you will be, or that Power will be bearing your children tonight. So we've learned a lot about Power this evening. All right, so let's move into studio here in Welton Manors. And Josie, you play next. Who are you going to
Okay. All right, so I got to see everybody up close and personal.
Not that up close. We were doing social.
But you know, it was
They walked
close
through
enough,
our room.
6 feet.
You've got antibodies.
I don't need to
They
wear
were
glasses
more than
to
20
see that.
feet away from me.
Yeah, but I mean, this is now very far. But anyways, let's just get to the point here, guys. I'm avoiding.
Stalling. You're not
Stalling.
It's-
You're all shaggable, you're all marryable, and you're all
Says the
choppable.
lesbian on the
Okay.
You're all choppable.
Oh, Hussain, please.
But just so you guys know,
I'm going to play the game.
just so you
Rick,
know,
you're not leading by example.
just so you know, I'm kind of a big girl. So 5'10" and a half, and I can throw around a big guy. So
guys,
Rick,
you know this.
me and
In
you,
terms of
brother.
Whoever is being selected, Chef Josie started out as a woman's professional football player in New York. So whoever she's going to shag, oh dear God, dear God.
Yeah, so
take it like a man.
So Rick, you're the one I'm shagging, okay?
Congratulations, Rick. You're going to be sore tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So and then who I'm marrying, again.
He looks
Hussain, I
adorable
really
like
appreciate that effort. I appreciate that effort. However, on this round, I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna marry cute little Brian because I think he'll get along really well with my wife. And then Hussain, I'll just save you for one of my friends. Don't worry, honey. I got lots of cute friends.
That's exactly right. Brian, you're going to be in a cool three-way with two lesbian girls. Yeah, exactly.
He said he can't wait.
He can't. Right.
This is not a real life Shag Marry Chop. It's all fictional.
And please, before a word comes out of your mouth, don't touch your phone. Don't touch your phone. Please, God, I hope your husband is watching. Please, God. All right, tell us who you're going to shag.
Okay, so I heard one of them was a doctor. Which one's the doctor?
No, 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 no.
Are you serious?
And fashion designer.
And fashion designer. Okay. So I'm marrying Rikk York. Okay. Shag. I'm shagging Hussain.
You're shagging
my
Hussain.
Doctor.
All right. Wait. Is Hussain a doctor?
Yeah.
Hussain.
So I'm.
Who's in our Shag Marry Chop sexy doctor?
Knowledge is power. Learning is fun. And I'm totally going to social climb a doctor for my shagathon. And my Mary is Rikk York. I've been friends with Rikk York when he was a little boy before he ever did porn.
Now I have to correct that, America, because I'm pretty damn sure there's nothing about Rikk York that is connected with the adjective little.
No, I'm not talking about little. I mean, I knew him when he was very young and before he was a porn star. And I definitely think that we could be lifetime compatible. She's my sister, and I love her. I don't know Brian, but
sweet.
I guess you're getting
Is that
chopped.
what sister season means?
Oh yeah, sister season. Come on, Rikk. It's sister season.
Now you got it. All right. And explain to us why Brian's on the chopping block.
Because I'm social climbing a doctor for my shag, and I'm marrying somebody I know I can get along with and not kill. And I don't know Brian, so bye.
All right.
All right.
Now everybody's going to. I'm only going to partially play this game, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boys.
Seriously, y'all have been great.
Great
we
sport,
love
yeah.
the participation in this first ever live version of it. But I have to tell you, and this will come as a surprise to a lot of people. I have lots and lots of friends that are like Hussain. So therefore, I'm not shagging Hussain and I'm not marrying Hussain.
He got enough action from the
You're
team.
the guy. You are absolutely the guy. So, guys,
Tell Brian, let's get to the baby making.
Brian Power wants to start making those babies.
Right, exactly. So, guys, thank you very much. And America, we hope you have enjoyed it. It's our game Shag, Marry, Chop. And we thank all of you for participating tonight. We end our show, as we always do, by showing you one of our sponsors of the show, and that's Jet's Pizza, a national brand that has... once again, I'm going to show you
It's a child-proof box.
Come on, Donald Trump, open the box.
I am so I am just so befuddled.
You want me to
by
do it?
Rikk.
I can open a pizza box.
No, but it's great pizza. They have a cauliflower crust. They're thick, Detroit style. By the way, America, it's been a great gig. Thank you. Tonight's my last night at It's Happening Out, and that's it. All right. So before we say goodnight to you, we want to give all of the hosts an opportunity to say goodnight to you personally. And let's start in our digital world. And our guest host tonight, who is going to be a new host, exciting new show, Gay Town Hall on Thursday night, July 2nd at 8 p.m. Colby, your opportunity to say goodnight.
Reach out to someone and say that you love them, because it's probably something they need to hear right now. So keep on spreading love and positivity.
Absolutely. Great message. And to Power Infiniti.
Good night, children. Listen, bitch, right now, we don't know up from down in this crazy world that we're living in. But that is why conversations like these are important, because they help keep us grounded, centered, and focused. So keep it right here every single week, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, at It's Happening Out.
Yeah, thank you. And Aaron Phoenix.
Well, good night, genderfuckers, and to all the rest of you who are still trying to figure us genderfuckers out. You'll get there. I just want to say, keep it together. Keep your head on your shoulders. You know, keep positivity alive. Keep the hope alive that we're gonna all get through this, whatever that means. This too shall pass.
Excellent.
Keep tuning in with us on It's Happening Out.
And to my friend, Misty Eyez.
You are not alone. No matter what you're going through, we are here with you. And you, even if you think you have the weirdest, freakiest thing that's wrong with you, I promise there are other people going through the same shit. Use that number when it comes available, 988 in July, or reach out and call somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend running for mayor of the gayest place on planet Earth, Chef Josie.
Tonight, I'm going to just send some love out into the world and just make a little prayer for some peace and peace and and calmness for everyone, and just invite everyone to continue to practice that compassion and tap into your empathy. And now is the time to recreate your reality and your life. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive during this time. We'll see you next week.
And America, I want to share with you one of the things that I'm very proud about in association with these people and It's Happening Out. These are kind of some tough times that we're going through. I appreciate being able to sit down at 8 o'clock and laugh for an hour and a half. That is a real luxury in the world that we're living in right now. And I love and I thank all of you for making me laugh and allowing me to participate in that laughter. And I hope you've had the exact same experience. I know that that is having an effect. When we started It's Happening Out, we principally were a Facebook product. We've had tremendous numbers in Facebook, the most popular gay live TV show in the world. But you know what's really exciting that we're not talking much about? Last week, almost, in much harder platform, which is YouTube, almost 100,000 of you watched us last week in YouTube. Amazing. And I think that that's gratifying for all the 6 faces that you're seeing here, and really for all of us. It's a tough time. We want to come together and enjoy ourselves. We can talk about important stuff, but we still enjoy ourselves. And for me, I thank all of you because I've enjoyed the evening just being able to sit here with you. So remember, America, if that is true for you, keep tuning in every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Remember, if it's important to you, it's important at It's Happening Out. Good night, America.